Flosstube. It's Helen D. It's the return of Sweaty Helen. We're back upstairs. It was way too hot to be downstairs. It's kind of way too hot to be upstairs, but the air conditioner's on. My middle-aged lady fan, who I have named Fran, is over here on. Hopefully that crosswind will keep me cool enough to do this. So this is episode 200, and I didn't want to miss the week to celebrate episode 200, and the whole week's going to be hot and sweaty. So again, I will say just look at the stitching. Don't look at the sweat. So welcome. When I started this, as I've said before, I had no idea where it would go, where it would take me. 200 episodes, and actually it's more than that because of tutorials and things, but 200 update episodes. That's pretty amazing. I don't really have anything super special this week. It's just the same old stuff. But I do have some extra fun giveaways that we'll do at the end, so stay tuned for those. While we're up here, before we start, I had a couple questions last time we were up here about my lamp. That is an Ottlight. It's like an Ottlight daylight lamp. I got it at Joann's years ago. The only thing about it that I didn't know at the time, the light bulb is not replaceable. So that seems really wasteful. Like, what do I throw the whole lamp out when the light bulb blows? I guess. So far so good. It's worked great. But keep that in mind when you're looking for lamps, that I'd had an Ottlight before and you could absolutely replace the bulb, so I didn't even think. But that particular model, you can't replace the light bulb. I think it's an LED, so it should last a long time, but that still seems like, come on, let's replace the light bulb. So, what have we been up to? It's been 2 weeks. We were on vacation last week, which, again, I didn't say before we left because I don't want to announce to the world that I'm not at my house. This was our annual vacation. We go up to the lake with my sister's family and my parents. So there's 12 of us total, 6 kids, 6 adults. I say the lake, and yes, it is right on the lake. And I think the kids went kayaking and paddleboarding like once, some of them twice. There's a pool and there's the biggest back lawn. So those kids would, I think they played every sport imaginable that you could on that lawn, get all hot and sweaty, and then get in the pool, and then repeat. I did not play spike ball with them this year, so I did not break any bones. My eldest nephew's girlfriend, however, may have broken her toe playing spike ball. So I said, oh, that game. I thought it was just not easy to play with teenagers, but you are a teenager. And you're hurt too, so be careful with spike ball. Yeah, so that was fun. We had a good week. The weather was perfect when we were there, and then this week is the hot week. So I have had a couple of new starts, and I've been trying to knock out a couple of smalls on the way to get my whips down. So the other thing that was really fun, when we went up to camp, it's about an hour and 20 minutes north of where I am. We were taking 2 cars because my husband was only there like a long weekend and then he was coming home. So we went up separate. I said, okay, I'm headed up. Here's everything you're responsible for bringing. And he was bringing all of the refrigerator food, freezer food, like all that stuff. So because we all kind of, bring stuff for everyone. So that I could shop my way up and hit a couple places that I don't usually get a chance to go. So I made a couple stops, one of which was at Martin's, which I've talked about before. Martin's is a Maine, I think it's just Maine, like a salvage discount store. They have an amazing fabric selection, and most of their fabric is $6.99 a yard or less. So I knew I wanted to get up there again because they had put out the fall and winter fabrics. So I got some fabric, which I don't even know where it is. I only got 2 pieces. But while I was there, I'm waiting in line at the cutting table. And I see a woman go by and she kind of looks at me. And then she goes back by. And then she came up and she said, "Are you the East Coast stitcher?" I said, "I am." So I met Nancy at Martin's, who was up here on vacation too. So that was really cool that we were both on vacation and had the exact same thought that let's go to Martin's and get some fabric. So it was nice to meet her and talk for a few minutes. It's always unexpected when you get recognized at a place that you just go to normally. That's not like at a retreat or someplace that you expect to meet other stitchers, so that's fun. I think the only other place I've been recognized is in Joann's, which is one of those places that I guess you would kind of expect. So, all right, let's jump in. I did pull up 2 of my fully finished items to share this week. One is a new finish, and one is one of those ones that I said I kind of finished at the end of the school year, and then I would keep them to sprinkle in. So we'll go with that one first. I finally framed Tree of Magic from Barbara Anna, and this is the short. There's one more tier at the bottom, but I shortened it. It's almost a square. It's like 12 by 12 and a half or something, the frame. This is a frame that I got at Art to Frame online. I ordered the frame, framed it myself, no glass. I use, when I get them, I get the acid-free foam core and I pin it to that, and then I just cut a piece of mat board for the back. I did just what Sandy of Stitching with Sandy, and at the end of her latest video, which I think came out when I was on vacation, but it's her latest video, I just caught up. She, at the very end of her video, did a little walkthrough kind of showing how she measured in order to frame, if you're interested. I'll link her below. So there's that one. I better write a note or I'll forget. And then the other one, when I stopped at Michael's. That was one of my stops because I had rewards that were going to expire, and hello. And I found this. So there's the number if anyone is interested. It's a decor piece, right? It had like Home Sweet Haunted Home on the other side. And I thought, I wonder if that would work for my witch. And it did. So this little witch, this is a Witchy Stitcher chart. The witch is in. I know this one is on a 14 count because I stitched this last year thinking it would fit on a spool and it was too big. And then I stitched it again on 16 count for the spool, and this, so I gave that one away as a smalls exchange, and this one was mine, and it fit in there just right. It was a little tricky to get like the template made, but I think she looks great. A vampire would look awesome in there, but I didn't have a vampire, and this one needed a frame, so I stuck with that. I don't know what fabric that is. Picture This plus Echo, maybe. So those are my fully finishes. I have 2 finishes. All my stuff's in a weird angle. So the first thing I finished, I brought stitching up to the lake. I think I brought 3 projects, and I maybe put in 50 stitches the whole time I was there. In years past, I've gotten a ton done because the kids were younger, and right, they were in the pool, and we had to be out there watching. And we still had to be out there watching this year because, you know, a couple of them are on the younger side, but they were much more they did their own thing together this year, which was nice. So that meant that the grown-ups played games without them. So when I got home, this is one of the ones I brought up, the Narwhal Globe, and I'm like, can I just bust this out and be done? It took a whole evening. I thought it would take less time than it did, but I did bust that out. So this is on 25 count Lugana. I think the color is Whisper. It's a light gray. And I used the called for is pearl cotton. I just pulled the DMC. And this will be a stand-up. So there's that one. Then I was kind of thinking, what little things can I finish up to be done with? This was a new start the last week, and this just called to me. So I finished this last night. This was Philanthropic Pumpkin. So this chart is headed out as soon as I do the finish to my friend. The finish will not even get done until school is back in. I do not have the brain power to even look at that. But I did finish the stitching. I did mine on a Lugana. It came with a linen, but I just pulled a 28 count Lugana. Or 32, whatever it called for. I think it's a 32. So that stitched up pretty quick, and I was just in the mood for those colors. So, there's that. Done. Whips. I got a few of those too. All right. I worked a little bit on Party Crashers from Pedal Pusher. This was a teeny tiny new start last week, and it's not much better, but at least I have a whole flamingo, not just his head. This is the one I've had in the car. So 16 count Haven. You need a 16 count so it will fit on the finishing board. So 16 count Haven. There's the board. Scarlet Sky Designs on Etsy for the board. So that one got a little bit of love. I'm not feeling the pull to summer things, so that's why I'm like, I'll just put that one in the car, and then it will get a little bit of love this summer. But I'm into fall and Halloween, more so fall. This one also got a little love, and it's summer, and I may be done with this one for this season. It's not calling, and I had to take it out of its nerd tube so I could have it for another project. So this is East Coast from Jeanette Douglas. I started on the bottom, and I have through East Coast done. There's a charm that goes there. This is on a grab bag fabric from Mystic Fabric, so it doesn't have a name, and it's a 28 count Lugana. I went with Lugana because there's a lot of specialty stitches, all those trees. And Sarah, who I'm stitching it with, Sarah has appeared on a few videos with Stephanie, the New England stitcher. The other day she messaged me and she said, I'm on the trees, I'm really excited to do the trees. And then later that day I got I had to rip one of those out a couple times. I am not so excited to do the trees. I'm not that far. The tiniest bit of love got done on Medicine and Poison from the Witchy Stitcher. The tiniest. I didn't even get to where I had to rip out the week before. But I'll show you anyway. The tiniest. Like this. And some of those aren't even crossed. This one is on Dreamy Lugana from Mystic Fabrics, the 28 count. Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, we're doing, several of us are stitching along with Audrey as she goes through her cancer treatments. Hers is coming right along, and she's doing it on perforated paper because she plans on using it in a journal. So hers is like really cool, looks good, and mine is just languishing. But it will get there. And every time I pick it up, I think of Audrey. The one that got the most work was a new start, and that was Snack-O-Lantern from Boomerang Stitches. Laura, Stitching by the Shore, and a few folks were doing this as a stitch along, and I said, I have that, I want to start it. So I did. I got the pumpkin. I did a lot of, I did the black and these little bits where his little hands are, and then I outlined so that when we were at the lake, I could just fill in. So I got all of this side filled in, and then this side I'm working my way up. And then that's his little, snout. So this one is 14 count Serene Ada from Picture This Plus. It's a super pale mint green that I'm sure does not show up on camera. So that one, like I said, I'm just filling in the pumpkin, and then I'll do whatever fits in the Q-snap, either him or the bowl. And it's not a Q-snap, it's a Nerge. That's the Nerge that I stole from East Coast Sampler. And I have a new start. I keep hitting this cord for the light. This is a new start that a lot of people were disappointed they didn't see the week before. Any guesses? It's the Luna Moth. So Luna Moth from Shannon Christine. Gorgeous. I had ordered last video, this is all Krynic, and I was like, no thank you. I know I could have done treasure braid, no thank you. I thought I'm gonna do silk, and I had ordered some silks, and the color came in and it wasn't quite what I was looking for. My current silks are not even in this bag, so they're over there somewhere. But here's what I went with. Can't even keep my stuff together. Oh, here it is. It's buried. They were in with the beads. I ordered from Crafty Grimalkin. She had pecan. Or pecan. Whoops. Something fell. Oh, and I ripped it off the thing. Pecan. Which is a light kind of goldish brown. I had this little piece from a grab bag, and I'm like, well, this would work. I'm gonna order it, but I didn't dare start in case the color was different, the dye lot, and it was. So mine, you probably can't tell very well, mine was a little darker, which is fine. I might use the darker one like for the moons or for something, but here's where I got. I'll show the goods. So I started in the bottom left, and then you could, like this little bit, there's a moon right here, but I had counted and I knew that I could go right up before I carry this line on, so I wouldn't have to count again. That's why that looks weird. And I got just a few of the colors in. So this is a long-term project, and it's one of those because I'm using a dark fabric, 14 count shadow, Ada from Picture This Plus. I need good light. I had to wear my neck light. So I'm right here. I've seen a few others of these on Instagram, and some people started like in the moth. Looks good. All right, what did I drop on the floor? I think it was just a tag. I'm a mess up here. I had to clean my desk off and throw everything on a chair. And there's a folding chair over here holding my stuff. All right, that's WIPs. I have a UFO, unfinished object. I have something that is going to be a restart. And I don't know if it will be a restart this year, but it will be a restart. I was feeling my fall and Halloween, and I was like, what do I have small that I can get done? And I pulled out Orchard Raven from Pigeon Coop, which I love. I don't like the fabric. So yeah, I have a chunk done, but I have way more to do than I have done. So my friend Cheryl's gonna adopt my WIP, and I will restart. That's where it was. I worked on it. Like, I got all this black in and some of this red before. I'm like, this is a 16, but it's really tight, so it was stitching more like an 18, and I wasn't feeling it. So that's a UFO. Fran is blowing all my papers everywhere. So that's what I've been working on. What have I been buying? Not too much. Like I said, I bought the fabric at Martin's, the little finishing piece at Michael's. I had some very generous Stitchy Kindness come in, so thank you very much. Some charts and some gorgeous fabric. So I'm excited to dip into that, and I have some set aside to share with my group the next time they're over. So spoiler alert, you guys, I have more fabric. While we were gone, well, this came in with the floss from Crafty Grimalkin, and it is Stonehenge from Atomic Ranch. And it's just, I'm a sucker for multicolored fabric. She had just gotten this. It was in like the new, what's new? So I picked up that and a chart for Donna. because I was doing an order anyway and I was going to see her. She got the sugar glider from Cottage Garden Sampling. And then I gave that to her. And some floss. While I was gone, the next tin, I don't know what you call them. I signed up for the Button Lovers Club from just another button company because they have what they call their folk floral buttons. And this one is Meadowlark. So it's kind of, those are the different colors. And then this one on the back was nice because it had like really good directions on how to do the stitching. It's this little tin. I was going to show you a comparison with the colors from the last tin, but I don't know where I put it. I put it in a very safe place. So I'll just hold up a couple of the folk floral, just so if you hadn't seen them the last time. You sew through the holes with, like, this is a cream colored button. You might use a bright pink or a bright purple, right? Like you're meant to see the floss. So there's a bunch of those and regular buttons and some of the shaped buttons. And this one is Meadowlark. So they're seasonal, so the next one will be autumn. I haven't used any yet. I haven't done a lot of finishing since I got the last one in, so there's that. Then I ordered from To Dye For Fabrics. She had been, it's Kimberly, and her store had been closed, and she was reopening her store on August 1st. And I know Laura, Stitching by the Shore, is a huge fan of her fabric, and I've used some before, and you guys know I'm on the hunt for this green. So I was looking for the perfect green for Autumn Town. I looked through all of her colors, and there's like 35 greens. So it was like, I was talking to Laura, I'm like, what do you think? So the one I ended up with, I don't think I'm going to use. There was no tag on it. Shoot, what was it called? I believe it is Tame Dragon. I think that's the one I ended up with. And the color's probably not going to be great. So it's a great green. It's just not quite, again, I'm looking for the perfect green. So this is Tame Dragon, a 14 count Ada. And then I also got a small cut of Fieldstone in a 14 cut Ada. So this is like the 11 by 18 size. Sprouting Lupine has a new design coming out at Marketplace that says, "Here there be dragons," and it's like an old map, and I thought it would look good on this fabric. So I had a point, I had a purpose. All right, now let's go back to the greens. Autumn Town. So I've got to just pick a green. I can't keep ordering greens. So it is between Tame Dragon. This is an Ada. I would rather stitch it on an Ada because it's such a big piece. However, I do have Pistachio 28 count Lugana from Fiber on a Whim, and a coloring cotton that this was like ancient, ages ago, one of their like leftover fabric of the months, like we're talking years. It's called Bells of Ireland. So this is Bells of Ireland, which looks terrible in this light. And this is Pistachio. And this is Tame Dragon. So I'm going to just do a floss toss and make a decision on which one I want to do. I think it's between the two Luganas. I think I'm going to start that Labor Day weekend. Several people said, "Oh, I want to stitch it with you." Labor Day weekend. Good luck finding your perfect green. So that's what I'm thinking for that. The other one that I'm pretty sure we'll get started before I see you again is Fall Fox from Emma Compton. That one's on her Etsy shop, Stitcherovia. It's the design that was in a Cross Stitcher magazine a few years ago. I kind of waited until she had it on her Etsy because I pulled it into Pattern Keeper, no problem, and then it will just be easier to stitch from because it's got a lot going on. Hold on. You know what I noticed the other day when I was looking for something from Stitcherovia and I went to my like shops favorites on Etsy? She's like she's at the bottom of my list. So she's one of my first ones. I found some fabric. It's just an antique white. I was thinking about doing it on a brown, like a light tan, but I think I'm going to stick with. The colors just popped so much better on the white. There's a little ecru in like his tail and stuff, but it's mostly surrounded. So that one, I'm waiting to start. The reason I haven't already is, like I said, I was trying to get a few smaller things done, and I've been watching stuff on my Kindle, which is where my pattern keeper is. So I've been watching Billy and Dom Eat the World on Amazon, which is Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings, and it's like a travel food show, and it's hilarious. Hilarious. My husband and my son were playing, they're old school playing Final Fantasy V. So they're in here like down on the floor, and I'm in my chair, boop, and I have my headphones on. And I would just laugh right out loud, and my son would look up, and I'm like, and then I'd do it again, and then I'd do it again. And when I got my headphones off, he's like, now I know how you feel when I'm watching stuff and I'm chuckling, and you're always like, what? Because it was funny. The other thing I started watching was, it's a National Geographic documentary. It's like a documentary series. I think there's 5 or 6 episodes, 4 or 5, on Hurricane Katrina. And it's the 20th year this year of Hurricane Katrina. So I watched, I think I'm on episode 3. And that's just, to someone who was working in news when that happened, that's very interesting to me, because when you're in news, you experience some things differently than a regular person would, because it's just with you nonstop for weeks. And like those big news events, and that's one that completely sticks with me, right? It was 2005 and I started in 2000, so I wasn't that far in, so a lot of those early things very much stick with me. Don't get me started on the 2000 presidential election and the hanging chads. That was rough. So that's what I've been watching. Oh, I didn't pull the giveaways for the last one. Well, we'll do it together. And then I'll have to write them down. So let me get this going. So 4 giveaways for last week. Let's see. I gotta get them out of a plastic bag too, because that's where they're going. Okay, hold on. I have a lot for this week, so I had to gather them. Hold on. Okay. Number 1, the embroideress from, this is an Erica Michaels, and it was donated by Carla at Cobweb Corner. So this was number 1, and this will be, let's see here, Annmarie Emmen. So I'm writing that down. Annmarie Emmen. And I will list these down below. Number 2, Animal Alphabet. This one is by Jeanne Douglas, again from Carla at Cobweb Corner. Will be Sharon Patnode. Patnode. Okay. We had Seaside from Jeanne Douglas. This one is Jeanne Selix, S-E-L-I-X. So Jeanne Selix. Okay, and the last one was the Massachusetts, also from Jeanne Douglas. And Alicia. Alicia and I have met. Alicia O. Upper Meadow Stitcher. Let me write that down. Who lives in Mass, so. I knew this one would have fewer people going for it because if you don't live in Massachusetts or know someone who lives in Massachusetts, it's just not as meaningful for you. So, Alicia, that one is yours. All right, so new ones. I have two things, as always, from Carla at Cobweb Corner. She's been posting a lot of what's new in the shop, kind of restock or what's on sale videos. So I always have Carla linked below. She and I need to have another chat. We try and do like Zoom chats, and with summer, like we did one midsummer, but we're way behind. So Carla, and you know we'll probably be when school's in session, which is another month. So 4 giveaways. You need to be over 18 so you can legally give me your address. Use the numerical number in your comment, and please don't use those keywords like win or giveaway or prize that bring all the trolls to the town. We don't want that. So number 1 is Autumn Harvest from the Elfin Forest. That's number 1. Number 2 is a $15 gift card to Cobweb Corner. That's number 2. Okay, then I pulled some extras. These are like 200 episode extras. And a couple of these, I'm sorry, will be US only because of shipping, especially because they will be shipped, right? It'll be a couple weeks. It'll be after, who knows, with the tariffs. So, and they're like packages. So, number 3, open to anyone, Fox and Rabbit, Elizabeth Shevins, 1869. And this one comes with this metallic, which I don't know where you use it, but it's called for. It's Butterfly Rose Gold Metallic Thread. So that is number 3. Number 4 is a little set of Lizzie Kate charts. They're celebration. So there's spring, summer, autumn, winter. So that's number 4 for the set. Number 5, and this one should be fine international. I would have to take them out of the plastic. Typically I take things out of the plastic when I ship international anyway because my post office gives me a hard time. So number 5 is a set of the Plum Street Hello charts. So again, spring, summer, fall, winter. So that's that one. And then I do apologize, the last 2 are US only. So number 6 is the full set of Glitter Village. This one and the next one, like these are past the stash chart, so there might be like some notes and things on them. There definitely is on the next one, but they're perfectly useful. So Glitter Village, I won't go through them. It's all 9, the full set. And then number 7, the full set of wordplay charts. These don't even have bags. So the full set, like I said, and I'll show you, this is the December. These are past the stash. Like this one I think had the most, but it has some notes of some color changes and things, but completely, you can absolutely stitch these. And there might be a couple notes like on a couple of the charts. There was like, I used this for this. So people don't remember, so they don't forget. So number 7 is all 12 months. They're upside down, of wordplay from Brenda Gervais. And that is that. Now I gotta eat lunch. I thought the air conditioner would kick down to like maintenance mode while we were talking. It did not. So that's it. I hope everyone is having a good week and you're staying cool wherever you are. It's not like it's 110 like I know a lot of people have. It's 90, feels like 95, but the humidity is very high. So that gets me. My son will be like, it's not even that hot. And I'll be like, I'm not lying about this sweat. Like, I'm not making this up. It's here. So the other thing to look out for is I do have a book coming from the Witchy Stitcher. Her new Halloween book arrives today. Well, today's Monday. It arrives Tuesday. So I will do a flip through of that. And I borrowed, it's not even over here, it's over there. I borrowed Donna's Craftaways Christmas book so I could do a flip through of that because mine still hasn't come. I'm on like the last shipment. They do them in kind of waves. I'm at the end, which is fine. There's one in there that I really, really like from Tiny Modernist, I believe, Cheryl McKinnon, that I'd like to start this year, definitely. I should have taken it to the library. We were just there. I would have had my copy made, but I forgot. So, have a great week. I'll be back probably with a flip through before you see me for my next update. Maybe 2 flip throughs. They may be up here because of the heat. We'll see. We'll find out together. So, have a good day, guys. Bye.